everybody. Welcome back to Face Pats and Brewskis. This is episode 2. We got a good one today. I'm the host, Dominic Backus, and I have Dominick Landphier with me today. So today we'll be doing the Dom versus Dom War Draft, and let's talk about a little bit of what I got going on with the beer of the pod. So like I said, I have no beers until Easter. So today we're rocking the Olipop Classic Root Beer. And I know Dom just went and grabbed something. So what are you sipping on over there?
Yeah, so I don't drink too often. So right now I got a zero sugar starry soda.
Rock on, man. Didn't that used to be Sierra Mist?
I think so, yeah, and they
Something
rebranded.
like that.
It's like
Sweet.
crack.
I like the Starry a lot better.
It is. It's very good.
I think the first time I had one was at KFC and it rocked. But, all right. So got the beer of the pod right there. I totally recommend Olipops for anyone who's listening. They have tons of different flavors. Like I know they have a cream soda. They have a strawberry vanilla, cherry vanilla that I usually grab too. I don't know. I'm kind of addicted to those things. So kind of a little mini plug. But and again, as always, at the bottom of the screen, you'll have the different socials and platforms you'll be able to reach this podcast on. So let's get started with the war draft. Go over the rules a little bit here. Kind of talked to Dom about these a little before. So it's gonna be a snake draft, and we're gonna start. You'll get the lead. You'll get R1, P1 here, as a guest. So I
Count
feel a
on
little
him.
grateful for that. um, then it'll be one draft pick per position group. So obviously you don't have to pick the positions in order. They're listed on the screen, but we'll be picking one for each. So a starting pitcher, a relief pitcher, a catcher, an infielder, an outfielder, and then a DH. And the interesting thing about this is that the WAR is only going to count for when the player is playing in that position group. So the example I thought of is if I draft William Contreras as the catcher, or at DH, I don't get his WAR for when he's playing catcher. So I wouldn't recommend doing that exact example, but that's kind of what we're rolling with here. So Yelich is in left field. He is not going to get his WAR for DH for that day. So the loser, I kind of decided on this punishment. I know you had kind of mentioned whether you wanted to do a reward or a punishment, and you give me your feedback on this. Have you heard of like the Waffle House punishment?
I think so. If we're talking about like the one for fantasy football where you go sitting for 24 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of
So
that.
we might have to adjust it to like a 12-hour one. And we don't have Waffle House here in Wisconsin, so maybe like a Perkins or something, but it'll basically be you'll go sit in the restaurant for 12 hours, and for every, I'd say, large sized pancake you eat, you knock off an hour. So we're kind of gonna go with that. And I mean, that'll be in, October, whenever, so still have a while, but I'm sure, that'll be a fun little incentive to pick a good team here. Unless you
Max
really
I
like
can,
pancakes.
my max I can eat at a time is like 3 pancakes.
Oh, have fun with the 9 hours there, buddy. All right, so let's get started with the draft. Round one, pick one again is going to go to you. So I don't know if you want to just kick it off with your pick, if you have any debates for what you want to do with this first pick, but you got the floor here, man.
Oh yeah, I think pick one. I am gonna go with William Contreras at catcher.
Okay.
I think he led the team in WAR last year. He's still 26, so he's maybe just entering his prime. I think he'll be the everyday catcher. Gary Sanchez taking on more of that DH role. So I'm gonna go with him at the one and lock that up because outside of him and Gary Sanchez, there isn't much at catcher. So I'll lock
Yeah,
that in.
man. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that that wouldn't be your 1-1, but that's what I would have done too. Like you said, I think Contreras obviously a huge WAR guy last year and just overall had kind of a breakout season.
He did.
And like with the other catching options, I think Gary Sanchez I think he brings a cool aspect to the team,
Yeah.
but I don't think any of the other guys like Haas or I don't think Jefferson Cuero will be up for a while now. So I don't
Yeah.
think he'll have much impact this season. So, I mean, I guess it kind of makes it a bit easy on me now that I don't have to pick catcher until later, but I don't think the guys I'm going to be picking through here are going to be too great. So might have to snag one sooner than later. But with that being said, I'm going to go. I kind of, I don't know. I wanted to go pitcher early. I think outfield is pretty saturated with some solid dudes. I think infield is all right.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go Freddie Peralta. I think
Yeah, it's a
he's such a
solid pick.
solid. Yeah, I mean, he brings a lot to the table. I think he's been on the rise. Um, his fastball is great. It doesn't have a huge velocity to it, but like his K percentage was like 92nd percentile in the league. He had a great whiff percentage as well. I think it was the same percentile in the league. And the coolest thing about him is he's not one of these big, tall pitchers, but his extension is crazy. It's like 88th percentile in the league. So I mean, he's like his legs must just be super strong the way he pushes off the mound and gets so close to the plate at his, relatively shorter frame for the position. So I really think that that's the for me it was kind of the only pitcher that I was super excited about in the starting rotation. I think there's a couple other guys that have potential, but I
Yeah.
mean with his WAR last year, I mean easily the highest returning to the team without Corbin Burns. So it's kind of an easy pick, but
Yeah. And I mean, with Woodruff out for the year, him being the ace, I think he'll step into that very well with how good his metrics are. As you said, he's gonna be.
yeah, I'm super excited about that pick. But all right, I will. It snakes back to me here, I guess.
Yeah.
So this one I'm a little caught up on. Relief pitcher, I think I have a couple guys that I'm hoping will be kind of slept on. So I'm gonna skip that for now. And I'm gonna go with maybe kind of a dark horse pick this early, but I'm gonna go Jackson Chorio.
Son of a bit.
Um, I think I mean, he's getting paid, like the 10 mil AAV. I don't know exactly off the top of my head what he's getting this year, but I mean, the Brewers don't commit to guys long term like that. I mean, he ran through the minors. He he's going to be an everyday dude in center field. Center fielders are guys that are usually great, with their glove too. So he should be able to kind of rack up some more just with his glove, no matter how good he's hitting. But I mean, he's got a great bat. He can run. I'm super excited about that pick, and I'm super excited for the next 10 years or whatever it is with him out there in center.
Yeah.
So
Signed an 8-year
that's
deal
yeah,
and then team options
yep,
at 32 and 33. So I mean,
yeah,
they
and I
kind of
don't see those getting turned
yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's who I was gonna take. I was hoping he was gonna slide a few more rounds. Um,
down.
shit. All right. I'm off the board.
Got you on the spot now.
All right. Let's see here. I think my next pick, I am gonna go with Reese Hoskins for an infielder.
Nice.
I think
Nice.
looking at the depth they have at first base specifically, I don't see anybody really threatening him unless maybe Gary Sanchez probably play a couple games there. But other than that, I think he'll be the everyday guy. Obviously, coming off the ACL injury, was it last year?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. I think that's a bit of a question mark on if he'll be able to get back to what he was in 22, which 22 he had an awesome season. Forget.
Hmm.
We have
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I got his numbers down.
I mean 30 home runs, 79 RBIs,
Yeah,
246 average, but
yeah. I mean, his slug's huge, and for as big of a slug kind of guy he is, he's pretty decent on base percentage too. So
yeah.
I mean, I think he's got a lot to prove, and I mean that's a great pick for an infield that's looking pretty dynamic and flexible and a lot of moving parts. So I think he's going to be a guy who if he isn't traded at the deadline, it's going to be a everyday starter all year. So I can't get much better in the second round than that.
Yeah. And then I guess my next pick. Yeah, I guess with him, it was like he'll be the one guy outside of Willie Adames that I feel that will be a staple in the infield where it feels like second base and third base. They got a lot of guys that can slot in there. Sounds like
Mhm.
Sal Frelick maybe taking some reps at second base and third base. So that's
Yep.
the rules of the draft. That's kind of annoying. But
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll go.
Yeah, I get that.
And then ends it back to me for this pick. Let's see.
Yes, it is.
All right. So we got
So I'll just do a quick summary of what we got here. So round one, you went William Contreras to fill up your catcher spot. I went Freddie Peralta to fill up my starting pitching. Then snaked back to me, and I went Churio to troll my outfield, and you took the slugger and Reese Hoskins, and now it's back to you. So you've got starting your pitchers open, and then your outfield and DH.
on the H. Let's see. Took the main guy I was going to take in the outfield. So um,
Suck it.
let's see. I don't know if I can forget. We're counting Devin Williams as a relief pitcher in this, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I'm going to take Devin Williams. I
Nice.
as a reliever of the year last year, absolutely nasty
Mhm.
stuff, nasty changeup. He's, in my opinion, a top 2 or 3 closer in the league. I
Mhm.
so yeah, we'll go Devin Williams.
Yeah, I really like that. I mean, personally, he's my favorite player on the team, just in terms of how exciting he is to watch. The airbender pitch, kind of like you mentioned, is one of the best changeups, and I think arguably the best pitch in baseball right now. Super exciting to watch. Surprisingly, was not one of my candidates to go for relief pitch, just because I kind of had I have some thoughts about where he could end up at the end of the season at the trade deadline, and I don't know for sure if he'll finish the year with us. So I had a couple red flags with him there. But overall, I think that's a great pick. And I mean, I want to say he had pretty high WAR number for a reliever last year, and like you said, was reliever of the year. So that's a great pick.
Yeah, he had a 2.6 WAR last year, I believe. Um,
Yeah, usually I
and
mean the bullpen will probably be 4 in total. So
yeah, that's
that's
over
pretty good
half, and
changeup.
yeah. Um, yeah.
Yeah, nice
I
pick.
hope he
I like
doesn't
that.
get traded. Yeah, because he, like you said, he's got that aura around him that every time you see him pitch, man, it's electric.
Yeah. Everyone who rocks a number 38 is just pretty solid. So, um, anyway, so, oh, geez, okay. We've kind of gone opposites here. We haven't picked the same position yet. I am going to, I am going to keep that trend going, and I'm going to grab a DH right here, and I am going to grab Christian Yelich
That's a good pick.
to be my DH. I think I'm just looking through kind of what he's done in the field lately. I have him down for a -4 run value as a fielder, and with his bat and base running, he was a 31 run value. So I mean, if you can keep him on this upward trajectory of being an on base guy who can maybe start adding that slugging back into his game
Mhm.
and keep him healthy by taking him out of the field and letting him DH more, I think that would benefit the team a lot more, especially with kind of a log jam we have going on in the outfield with some of these young, real talented dudes that we have out
Yeah.
there too. So getting him in the DH spot, I think could be super solid, and um, I'm excited about that pick. I think there's a lot of ways we can go with DH too, so wanted to make sure that snagged a good one there.
Yeah, that was gonna be my pick at DH if he got back around to me. And like you said, with the outfield, it feels like he's kind of the odd man out in
Mhm.
terms of defensively. I mean, you got Churio, Frelick, Mitchell coming back. I mean, and then Yelich at
Joey
the
Weimer.
yeah, Joey Weimer. I forgot about him. I did forget about him. A lot of young guys, and then Christian Yelich. So I think yeah, he'll be slide into that DH role a lot.
Yeah. So with my next pick, I'm really gonna hope to strategize a little bit here against you, and I'm gonna snag Gary Sanchez as my catcher. Just because, I mean, I don't think there's gonna be another catcher that who makes an impact on the team who's with the organization right now. And he also will DH a lot too, I'm sure. So kind of kill two birds with one stone with that pick for me. But I mean, I'm super excited to see what he has to do. He had 19 home runs and 240 AVs last year, almost a 500 slugging with, I mean, limited plate appearances. But to be doing that and having a 116 OPS plus in Petco Park, which is a notorious pitcher friendly park, being basically below sea level. Um, I'm excited with that pick, and I'm really excited to see what he does. So I'm cool with those two picks in a row, and we'll swing back to you to close out the end of the fourth round here.
That was going to be my second pick for DH. Now I got to scramble here. I'll take. In the meantime, I'll fill up my starting pitcher slot.
Okay.
And this one is risky because I don't know if I see him being on the team the full year, but I'm going to take Wade Miley as my starting pitcher.
The old goat.
Yeah, I think last year he had such an efficient year. He's not a huge strikeout guy, but a 3.14 ERA, 9-4 record, 1.14 whip. I think he's going to be a consistently good pitcher for us. And now with Woodruff out, he'll likely be that 2 or 3 guy in the rotation. And I think he did an excellent job last year. And I think he continues that this year. So I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, I think that's a really solid pick. I have the next episode of this podcast will actually be my starting pitching projection for at least opening day.
Mhm.
And he is the guy I had slotted in at the two spot. I mean, that's Fangraphs has the same thing. So, I mean, I think he's kind of expected to be that two guy, good lefty, and I mean, he's super knowledgeable veteran, and I think he's going to help a lot of these other younger pitchers that we have who have a ton of potential. You know, a lot of dudes with some real nice fastballs and real raw potential, but just kind of have
Yeah.
to figure out the game and find their command. So I think he'll help a lot with that as well. I'm super excited that he's part of the team again this year. But well, we'll swing back to you for round five. And starting at round five, I just wanted to remind the listeners, Dom still has his outfield and DH open. He's taken Wade Miley at his starting pitching and Devin Williams for his relief pitcher. He's taken William Contreras as his catcher, which was a great pick, 1-1, and Reese Hoskins as his infielder. And then going into round five, I have my relief pitching and infielder spot open with Freddie Peralta as my rotation guy, Gary Sanchez as my catcher, Jackson Churio, and Christian Yelich as my outfield and DH, respectively. So, with that being said, we'll start round five here, and you're on the clock.
So I got my outfielder and my DH. I think I'm gonna go with outfield here,
Okay.
and I am gonna go with I'm gonna go with Joey Weimer here.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think there's been a lot of hype about them, fixing his swing, making some tweaks to it. It's not as elongated. Um, he had, I think he's just an electric young guy for the team that's going to earn a lot of playing time in the outfield, especially with Sal Frelick potentially going into the infield for some series. Um, like you said, Christian Yelich probably DHing a couple times. I think Joey Weimer will end up being a corner outfielder pretty consistently. Um, so yeah, I think that's a solid guy for the right field position.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. And I think a lot of it for him depends on what happens with some of these other guys. Um, and a big advantage he has is that, Sal Frelick, Christian Yelich, and Garrett Mitchell are all left-handed. So being a right-handed bat in that outfield is somewhat rare right now. So I think
Yeah,
he can find his way on the field a lot for that. And then, like you mentioned, his athleticism, his fielding, I mean, kind of a spark plug guy to have on the team. And I think it'd be hard for him not to make the opening day roster. I'll talk about that a little later in a couple episodes later about what I think might happen with him. But he's a guy who, if you don't like him, you don't like baseball. He's a pretty cool dude. And, he seems to just be someone that the city of Milwaukee can kind of get behind, and the team seems to really like his energy. So that's an awesome pick as an outfielder. Moving on with my fifth round pick, I am going to go infield,
Field.
and I'm not going to pick Willie Adames.
Okay.
You want to take a guess at who I'm going?
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna guess Tyler Black.
Close. I will say close. I think it's a guy who's gonna play third base as well, but I think he has a lot more position flexibility, and I think he's going to be Willie Adames' replacement. So I'm gonna go Joey Ortiz with
Mm,
my fifth pick. I know it probably has to do with me seeing a highlight of him yesterday hitting a nuke in spring training and knowing how good of a fielder he is and how young he is. Um, the Baltimore Orioles organization had how many just incredible infielder prospects, and we just happen to get one of them now. And I don't think he's gonna change his trajectory as being just a great fielder, decent bat guy who can also run as well. And like I said, I think he's going to be Willie's replacement, and I think they're going to try and get him as much experience as possible in the big leagues this year. After having a decent year, being called up last year in his limited time, and then he had an 885 OPS in 88 games in AAA, which was awesome. So I think he'll stick in the infield too. It was hard for me not to pick Sal Frelick, but I don't know how much he'll actually be in the infield. So that kind
yeah.
of scared me a little bit. But it could be just an experiment with him. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I think he looks pretty damn cool playing third base.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great pick.
All right, we got round six now. Going in, I have my relief pitcher, and I have it narrowed down to two guys. So I have Trevor McGill and Abner Uribe. And they both are just, they're fastball dominating pitchers. Um, Trevor McGill, I think he's like a 99-mile-an-hour fastball guy, great fastball, uh, pretty good knuckle curve too. And he started to really pitch a lot better at the end of the year.
Yeah.
He's another dude kind of like Freddie Peralta with great extension, 72nd percentile. And I really like that because, the closer you are to the plate when you throw the ball, the shorter it has to travel, so it's going to look a lot faster anyway.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And Abner Uribe, I don't know if you saw him at all with that sinker last year. That was devastating.
Yeah.
People could not touch that pitch. He's a, he's a great pitcher for whiff and K percentage. Gets a lot of ground balls too, which I was a little surprised. But I guess with that sinker, that's probably what does it. But
Yeah.
he walks a lot of people, which I'm a little scared about for his WAR number. But I think I'm gonna have to go Abner Uribe. I think there's just too much potential with him, and I think with a lot of the talks of Devin Williams potentially being on the move this season at some point, he's a guy that could step into that closer role and kind of be a closer for the future, or just a guy who they give a lot of innings to anyway. I think he can be a setup guy or a seventh inning guy. I
Yeah.
know I've heard that Pat Murphy is trying to stay away from having, eighth inning only, seventh inning only type guys. So, I think that's for him, that is an advantage that he'll just get more and more opportunities. And I'm super excited to see what he does in kind of his little sophomore campaign here.
Yeah. No, that's a great pick. I think, like you said, that sinker is untouchable. I think he hit what 102 multiple times on it last year
Yeah. Yep.
in his 30 innings of work last year. He looked pretty damn good for a young kid. Was he 22 or he was 22 last year? I think 23 now. He's
Yeah. Something like that.
I think he's a huge breakout candidate. So yeah, I like that pick.
Yeah. Not a lot of innings on his arm either. I think he's going to be pretty fresh, and I'm super excited. You think you're hitting one of his sinkers?
No shot. No shot. I'm not touching that.
All right, well, let's talk about someone who will touch that pitch, and that would be your 6th-round pick and your DH.
Oh yeah, let me see. You unfortunately took both of my candidates for DH, in Yelich and Gary Sanchez.
Yeah.
Yes, I think. With DH.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I'd even do in this situation. I had a couple guys listed down as DH potential guys, and all of them are on a team right now.
Huh.
Yeah, I could see, I don't know how many at bats he'd get, but possibly like a Garrett Mitchell.
That's what I
Um,
was thinking.
I think Sal Frelick maybe took a couple DH days last year, but also that was his rookie season. Um, and he's so versatile in the field. I don't see that happening a ton. So I don't know. Otherwise, maybe like a Jake Bowers. I know he's a pretty big bat and has a good shot of making the team. He's a first base, corner outfield kind of guy, and I want to say right-handed hitter. If you want to fact check me on that, I just had my notebook pulled out. I can't really see.
Let's see.
Let's take a look.
Say Jake Bowers.
Yep.
I believe he is a lefty by the looks of it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Lefty. So I mean, I think
Lefty.
that could help too.
I might go a bit outside the box here. Don't know how much this guy's gonna play.
Hmm.
I am gonna go Owen Miller as my DH.
Okay. Okay. I
I
like it. I think he'll be on the team. So I mean, that gives you a good shot of getting
yeah,
something from that. But
I think he
yeah, I
ends
mean,
up being like a utility guy who just fills in and hopefully he gets a couple of games at DH. But
yeah, yeah, he can catch fire. He's one of those guys. So I think that's super. He's a hometown kid too. That's super exciting.
yeah,
All right. So that'll conclude the draft. Let's talk about our teams a little bit here. I'll run down your squad. You have on the bump to start the game. You have Wade Miley and Devin Williams to fill it up at the end. You have William Contreras behind the dish. Reese Hoskins playing your infield spot. Joey Weimer as your outfield spot. Great pick in my opinion. And your DH is Owen Miller. To round up my squad, I had Freddie Peralta as our starting pitcher. Abner Uribe relieving. Catching was Gary Sanchez. Infielder Joey Ortiz. Really hoping that one's not looking stupid in the middle of July. Um, Outfielder Jackson Chorio, and my DH was the $1 billion man Christian Yelich. Not quite billion, but he got a pretty big bag. So,
he did. I
but
was
yeah, that rounds up the draft. Take a one last sip of my drink here. Got some Brewers trivia to end this episode as well.
okay.
It's an over/under question. So the Brewers' projected infield, including catcher,
Hmm.
their WAR is over under 12 F WAR. What are you going with here, Dom?
Hmm. I'm gonna go over.
All right. All right. We'll lock that in. I'll have the answer at the end of the pod next week, or next episode, excuse me. We're going to be doing B&B beer requests. So if you have any beers you've been dying to try, you have a go-to beer that I need to try, comment or reach out on any of the socials that are listed below with what I should drink next. And with that being said, my beer is done, and so is this podcast. Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good one.